What's up guys, Sean from Srkcycles.com, and I got some really good advice here. This is 5 things that as a motorcycle buyer, as someone who's buying a motorcycle, whether it's your first bike or your last bike or your second bike or whatever, hopefully you don't know that it is your last bike, but who knows? You gotta know these things. These are really important. Every single one of these things, possibly the 5th one might be the most important. Let's start this off with number 1. This is one that I see all the time. I see this all the time. If buying a motorcycle makes you, it's like that you're at that financial like teetering point and you buy a motorcycle and it might put you over the edge, don't buy a motorcycle. It's not worth it. Let's just be honest. Motorcycle is a luxury. It is a toy. You don't need it unless you're replacing it with your car, which you can't always do. You know what I mean? Don't make buying a luxury. Don't make an awesome, buying your first motorcycle or your next motorcycle should be one of the best days of your life. I apologize to your wife for thinking that. Don't make it a horrible day or the day where everything, this is the beginning of the end, because you start getting ruined and you can't even fill up your gas tank. It's not worth it. Save up your money or buy a cheaper bike or something. But buying a motorcycle should not be the thing that financially ruins you because it's a toy. Let's go to number 2. Do not buy too much motorcycle. This might be one of the only dealerships, I'm sure other people do it, I can imagine, but I've not seen any. We might be one of the only dealerships that will talk someone out of buying a motorcycle because it's too much bike for them. I'm talking brand new, we had a kid coming in, he was riding in a Grom, and he's like, hey, I want to buy a Yamaha R1. And I'm like, is that your first bike? He's like, no, I've had a Grom. I don't want to sell it to him. I refuse to sell it to him. We had a girl come in and she's like, I want to first bike ever, never ridden anything. She's like, I want a 600cc Super Sport because my parents all ride Harleys and they say 600cc's is small. And I'm like, go somewhere else. I'm not going to sell you a bike. Here's a bike that would fit you. Here's a bike that would be a great bike for you to ride on. I don't want to be the guy that sold you the bike that killed you. Now listen, these bikes are fast. There's tons of bikes out there that I'll sell you, but when you start getting into these bikes that are way too much, another thing is buying a bike that's too big. If the bike feels heavy for you, if you sit on that bike and it feels heavy, this is mainly for new riders. Once you've been riding, just jump on whatever bike you want to. If the bike feels too heavy and you're scared of it, it will get a little bit better, but you will have a hard time overcoming that. You want to start with a bike that feels kind of light, and then you can acquire the balance. Once you acquire that balance, jump on as big as bike you want to. You know what I mean? Take a car, take 2 wheels off it and ride that, I don't care. You can handle it. Now, if you've been riding for a while, there's no excuse for riding, a bike that's too tall. There's actually a video out there, I forget what the girl's name, but she's small. She's a pint-sized little thing, like maybe 4'10", maybe 5 foot tall, and she's riding a BMW GS bike, which is a very tall bike, and she's doing it. Every time she gets off the bike, she leans her body completely off, has her one leg kind of hanging off the bike just to put her leg down, and then she starts the bike at that, you know what I mean? And I hear people coming in and they complain, they're like, well, I can't flat foot my legs, or I can't bend my leg, you know what I mean? All right, that's all I gotta say about that. Next thing, know what you're buying. Do a good job, do your due diligence, make sure it's a good price. Inspect the bike, make sure someone you know inspect the bike. Buy from a dealership that you trust that also inspects the bike, that backs up their work like we do. Just have a good idea of what you're buying. Don't be one of the situations where you bring it home and you're like, I thought it had cruise control. This is the one model that doesn't have cruise control, or I thought it had this, or I thought it had this. You should know that before you buy. Just do your research. The guy who has the most information chances are going to come out on top. It's always a good idea to do your research. All right, number 4. We've had this situation happen a couple times. It's very important for you to go and price out insurance before you buy the bike. Now, if you've been riding for a while and you're buying a similar type of bike, but some of these new riders, you're switching bike styles, or especially if you're younger, go price shop the bike. We've had a couple people that came in for a bike and they buy the bike and they get their insurance and they're like, holy cow, this is way more than what I thought it would be. Also, don't just price shop and call one insurance company or your insurance company and see how much it's going to cost. Price shop to a couple different companies. We have built a website. Now, it might be up by the time you're watching this. We built a website called motoquote.info. You can go on this website, put a little bit of information, and then it gives you a bunch of different options of motorcycle insurers, and you can go and get a quote from each one of them. I would recommend checking out a website like that and getting quotes from a couple different places to get an idea of what it's going to cost to insure your bike. There's a huge discrepancy in differences in different companies in terms of price, but some bikes are definitely more expensive than other bikes. You have to have a pretty good idea of what it's going to cost you to buy this bike. the last one is don't just buy a motorcycle because it's available in your current area. We're in the future now. This is the 21st century. It's 2019. When you're watching this, might be 2020, it's not gonna change. You can buy motorcycles all over the country. Srkcycles, we ship motorcycles all over the country. We have a walk around video, we have a test drive video, we back up our products. There's a lot of other companies that you can trust, that you can buy from other places. So don't just be like, oh, my local shop only has these 5 bikes, I gotta buy a bike from my local shop. Forget that. You buy everything else on the internet. You buy your cars on the internet, you buy your food, you buy everything else online, shipped from all over the country. You can do the same thing with motorcycles. Get the bike you want, learn about the bike, watch videos from this channel, watch Srkcycles videos, learn what you want, ask questions, and then buy the bike you want and enjoy it, love it. We'll see you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, it's not what you're riding, but where you're going.